I'm done. I am too.
Alright, y'all are working on your morning work, your super starter.
I need some bed. We got some old bed. You got some old 7 eggs? You got some? You got some? I need some.
Same thing we did yesterday. When we get finished going over this, we're going to go over your page that you had for classwork or homework last night. So if you get done and you're just waiting, go ahead and have it close by.
Do you have this? Because whenever she said extra, I got this one. 7 or 8. You're like 7 or 8. Can I bring money in and just pull my new one?
Alright, we have 3 problems on the board. 1 is unlike 2 and 3. What about 1? What makes 1 different than the problem number 2 and number 3? What does 1 not have? A whole number. So all we have to do is look at what's behind the decimal. It's like our change. So you can do it one of 2 ways. If you know how to properly read that, how would you read it?
3400.
Very good, Corbin, 3400. So therefore you know 34 goes over 100. But what if you didn't know that? What if you were not real strong with knowing the names of the places and you would say 0 decimal 3/4? How would you know to put over 100, Tony? Very good, Tony. So how many numbers are behind the decimal there? 2. So that means you need how many zeros? 2, and that would still put it over 100. Now when you have 34 over 100, tell me about those 2 numbers. They're both what?
I made it a fraction, I'm done. Isn't that what we were supposed to do? It says make it a fraction, I made it a fraction, I'm done. I gotta reduce it first. I can't just leave it like this. So what do I notice without sitting here making my factor T-charts for these 2 numbers? What do I notice right off the bat? How did you know it was 2? They're both even. 4 and 0 are even. So divide by 2, divide by 2. Now I don't know what 34 divided by 2 is off the top of my head. So what would I have to do to figure it out? I know y'all have already worked it out. You would just do 34 divided by 2. Y'all have already worked it out. What'd you get? 17 over, what's 100 divided by 2 or half of 100? 50. Anything in common between 17 and 50? No. So we are done.
How many got it? Got everybody. Good. If you didn't get it, was it because you did not reduce, or did you reduce incorrectly? Those that didn't get it, you see why you didn't get it? For those that didn't raise their hands?
Is everybody still familiar with how we got to when I say what numbers do they have in common?
Yep.
Everybody still see where we're getting that from? We're good? Okay. Let's move on to number 2. Now, you said this one was different because it didn't have a whole number. This one does have a whole number. So how do I write this when I have a whole number? What do I do with the first 5?
Put it out to the side.
Drop it straight down to my answer, and that's my big whole number. Now what do I do with just my decimal 45? Make it a fraction, and how would that fraction look? 45 over 100. How would you read this number? Just reading it. Don't say 5 decimal 45. How would you read this number?
5 and 45 hundredths.
5 and 45 hundredths. 5 and 45 hundredths. So we're good. Okay? Made it a fraction, I'm done. Gotta reduce it. 2 ways we taught you to reduce it. What's one way? What do I have to do first to reduce it?
Find something common.
Very good, find something in common.
Okay? What's in common between
5.
divide by 5, divide by 5? And what do I get?
9.
9 over 20. Don't just leave it as 9 over 20. I saw some people do this. They reduced it, they left their whole number down. Or left it up there, they didn't bring it down. You got to bring that whole number down. Because if you just write 9/20ths, there's a big difference between 9/20ths and 5 and 9/20ths. Questions on that one? We're good? Alright. And the last one. 1 and 8 hundredths. Notice how I said that. Not 1 and 8 tenths. 1 and 8 hundredths. How do I write that?
1 over 8.
8 over 100. 1, 2 numbers behind the decimal. 1, 2 numbers in my denominator. 2 zeros in my denominator. There. Tony sees 4. Did we have to use 4?
No.
No. I could have used 2. So what's 8 divided by 4? 2. What's 100 divided by 4? 25. Had you used 2, if you didn't see 4, you would have gotten 4 over 50, and they're both still even, so you would divide by 2 again, and you would have gotten this. So is my answer 2/25? No, it's 1 and 2/25. Don't forget your whole number.
Alright, any questions about those 3? Well, here's what's going to happen. It's 9:16. We have about 45 minutes until time to go. Alright, we are going to look at some of the ones you had last night, or yesterday in class that you did last night for homework, to make sure that you understood what we were doing. Make sure that you feel comfortable with taking them from a decimal to a fraction. Then, if we don't have one on our super starter, we're going to refresh your memory, even though we've already done it all week, about a fraction to a decimal. And then we're going to have a checkpoint just real quick, so when we come back on Monday, we can move on. So, are there any questions again about 1, 2, or 3?
Alright, put that away. Have your homework paper out.
First I didn't get it, but then it had clicked off.
Click.
Glad it clicks.
That's why we have to just practice just a little bit at a time.
Alright, so we're starting on the side with the holes on the left. It should be the front side. Your first one should be 4.74. Raise your hand if you got an answer for that one. And again, if we say 1, raise your hand. No, raise your hand. If we get to one that you don't understand how we got that answer, raise your hand after we call out that answer. We'll work it for you. Tony, what'd you get for number 1? 4 and 37/50. Questions on that one? He is right. Malachi, number 2.
7 and 13 over 50.
7 and 13 over 50 is correct. Questions on that one? Question, or do you want to answer one? Coriana, number 3.
8 and 37 over 50.
8 and 37 over 50 is correct. Corbin, number 4.
7 and 120.
7 and 1 what?
Number 4?
Yes.
No, it ain't 1 4.
No. 7 and 1.
Denominator stays the same.
Oh, 100.
What's your denominator right there?
20. Oh my God. Wait, time out. Which one we on?
Number 4.
Hey.
4, 8.
7 and 120.
Alex, help him out.
It's 7 and 1/2.
7 and 1/2. Let's look at that one. 7.5. How do I read this? 7 and 5/10. 5 over 10. Did you put it over 100? One number behind the decimal, 1 0. 10th place. Then you would have gotten divide by 5, divide by 5, and it would have been 1 over 2 instead of 1 over 20. So that one is right. Number 5. Wesley.
5 and 67.
5 and 67 hundredths. Number 6. Somebody had called on. Riley, what'd you get? Number 6.
I got 7 and
7 and 11 over 50 is correct. Number 7. Kiesha. 5 and 11 over 100. Number 8. 3 and 2/5 is correct. Number 9. Eli. 1 and 29 over 50. And number 10. 8 and 22 over 25. Questions on that side? Everybody's good? All right, flip it over.
All right, flipping it over. These are the ones that did not have a whole number. So we look at the very first one. Number 1. Oh, hang on, just get this thing. Keisha, what do you have for 1, baby? Very good. 51 over 100. Dakota, what have you got for 2? Very good. 33 over 100. We cannot reduce those. Alex, number 3.
97 over 100.
Also 97 over 100. Again, we cannot reduce. Number 4, Josiah. Very good. 53 over 100. Haley, number 5. Very good, baby. 4/5. Number 6. Alyssa. Also 9 over 20. Kate, number 7. Very good. Carter, number 8. Very good. 89 over 100.
Hold on for a second. Which one? Number 7. What was our problem for number 7? 0.72. 0.72. How do I write that as a fraction? 72 over 100. What did we divide by?
4.
Okay, I hear 2. Divide by 2, divide by 2. I don't know what that is off the top of my head, so I would come over here and I would work it out. What'd y'all come up with?
36.
36. So that would be 36 over 100 divided by 2 is
25.
50. What do I notice now? They got another 2. They're both even. Divide by 2, divide by 2. What's half of 36? 18. 13 is 26, not 36. That's probably where you messed up. Half of 50 is 25.
While we're doing that, I always look at your fraction. If it's even, if you don't see, I did hear somebody say 4, but if you don't see anything other than, hey, wait a minute, my numerator and denominator are both even, I will start with 2. That's okay. If that's the first thing you see, then divide it by 2. And then look at it again and say, can this be reduced anymore? Like this here was another set of even numbers. If your numerator and your denominator ended a 5 or a 0, what do you automatically see that we can reduce by?
5.
By 5. Good. So when we get these numbers, just always look at them and see if there's anything you can reduce. You can start off smaller, you're going to end up with the same 18 over 25. All right, so we were on number 9, I believe. Jack, I hadn't heard from you. What'd you for 9, baby? You forgot to do it.
You skipped the 8.
Did I skip 8? What did I do? Andrea, 8. Very good, 89 over 100. Shivani, can you help Jack with number 9, please? Very good, 23 over 100. And Kate, what's your the last one, babe? Very good. All right.
Questions on that?
You said number 9 was 23 over 100?
Yes.
See that? Fraction is 0.23, so that's 23 over 100. Did you reduce it?
Number 9, 8.
Yes.
But you can reduce it.
What does 23 and 100 have in common? What did you reduce it by?
Oh, I'm on the wrong side. No.
All right, well, let's do 2 fractions real quick. Let's do 1 fraction that is just a fraction, and then let's do 1 that is a mixed number.
So we're just getting 2 paper out?
So just look real quickly, in case anybody has a question about this, because you will see these on your checkpoint in a minute. You're going to have 20 problems in this class.
20.
There's going to be 10 problems that you have to do that are fractions and decimals, and there's going to be 10 that you have to do that are going to be decimals and fractions. So back and forth.
8 fractions.
Alright, so here we go.
Alright, just to refresh your memory, before we do this, we're going to go from a fraction to a decimal. Just a fraction. How do I set this up?
2 divided by 3.
What goes on the inside is my dividend. The numerator, the 2, always goes on the inside. Then where's my decimal at? Behind the 2, go ahead and put it straight up. 3 will go into 2, 0 times. That'd be a 0. 3 will go into 20.
6 times.
6 times. 3 times 6 is 18.
You're going to be losing
I know what you mean.
2. I started with a 2, I got another 2, so it's about to start repeating. 0, and I got 20, I had 20, I'm repeating now.
Don't write 3, 6.
20, or 18, 2, so it's going to be 0.6 repeating. Or if you put 6, 6, you could also have done that over both of them.
Let me ask you this. Let's say everybody saw that repeating. And for your answer, you just had 0 and 6 tenths. 0.6.
And this.
And that's all you had. Even though I see all your work, and I see on your work that you have decided that it's going to repeat. If your answer that you were telling me, Ms. Merritt, Mr. Martin, this is my answer, if you just put that's in the blue, are we going to give you credit?
No.
Why?
Because it's 6.06.
Now that just says 6 tenths, right? How do I know that it repeats?
This tells me it stops.
That's a bar notation.
Bar notation.
This
Number
tells
1.
me it stops right here. I have to have this to tell me it keeps going.
Very good.
Alright, now let's look at this one over here. We showed you 2 different ways to work this one. 2 different ways to work this one.
You can already put your whole number, and you put 8 divided by 10.
Wait.
One at a time.
Me first.
What?
You don't say what I said.
Malachi.
Stop hollering out. I could reduce first, okay. I could absolutely do that. Tell me what.
You put on 3 and 8 tenths.
I could bring my 3 straight down into my answer and then only divide by fraction. Absolutely. What's the third way that I could do it?
I got it.
Okay, that's what Tony said. We could reduce this from the start. But what's the other way? I can make this an improper fraction. Times plus. 3 times 10 is 30, plus 8 is 38 over 10, and then divide that. Whichever way you see it, that's the way we want you to do it. Okay? I'm going to work it this way because I think this is how most of you probably saw it. So where's my decimal in 38? Behind the 8. Take it straight up into my answer. 10 will go into 38. 3 times. That is 30. Subtract against. Bring down my 0. We'll go 8 times. That's 80. What's it called when it ends in 0 and it stops? Terminating. So my answer is 3.8. You would have gotten the same thing here. Dropped your 3 straight down. Only deal with this. Put my decimal there. 10 will go into 80 8 times. So that's decimal 8. Here's my 3. Here's my decimal 8. You would have gotten the same answer no matter which way you did it.
Hey.
Questions on going from a fraction to a decimal? Because if you don't have questions, we're about to start our little checkpoint. Everybody's good? What's your question, Malachi?
When we go to the back.
We'll go in just a minute, but that didn't have anything to do with math. Any other math-related questions? Not doing your homework got you by for the night, but it's not going to get you by here in just a second. We're good? All right, everything off your desk, unless you've got your times table chart that you need. You don't have to be noisy. You don't have to talk, Corbin, to get everything off your desk. If you want scratch paper, you can also have it out, sir.
Oh, thank you, Miss Mary. I love you too.
Do not flip this over. Do not flip it over. We'll all flip at the same time.
We're going to go to the bathroom here in just a second once we get started.
One day, but let's not do it 2 days. But be 1 day, okay?
Not in giving. Their test out. We shouldn't be talking.
It should be on the, nobody's flipped it over, nobody's mouth is open, y'all know better, baby.
I'm 38 bit, so I'm
Face down. Everybody's just face down.
Alright, so on the first column you have the fractions to decimals. On the second you have decimals to fractions. This is just a little checkpoint, make sure we all understand what we're doing, so that we can check and go on Monday with something else. When you flip it over, make sure you put your name. I don't want to have to lose points because you don't know who you are. You may use the back as scratch paper. If there's anything you need to tell me, where do you write it? On the back. When we flip it over, we will go to the restroom very quietly. We will take turns. Are you going to go step down? So, will we go very quietly and do that?
But no, if we do go at the same time, some people aren't going to go, some people are going to be back in here before you working on their quiz, which means you need to come in quietly because they will quiet the focus. They shouldn't have to lose their concentration because you want to come in talking. Not going to work. Now, when you flip, not now, when you flip this over here in just a minute, you're going to see 2 columns, just like your homework page looks. The right side is decimals to fractions. The left side is fractions to decimals. Okay? So they're split. Alright, if you need to go to the restroom, this side right here, if you need to go, walk on out. That side right there. If you are not going to the restroom, you can flip it over and get started. Middle section. You need to go to the restroom. Go. Y'all are middle section. If y'all need to go, go. None of y'all need to go? Y'all are good? Girls, y'all in front, y'all are good? Riley, you good? Okay. Alright, this side over here. If you need to go, go. Leave your paper face down. When you come back in, sit down and get started. You're not going to go when you get done now. If you think you need to go, you better go now. If you do work on scratch paper, we are going to take that. When you get finished, just turn it face down, sit quietly. There is a few problems that are repeated on there. It means the same problem, the same numbers are on there. It's going to be the same answer. It's not a trick. But I would make sure I got that answer correct before I just copied it down. Because if you got it wrong, you just got all of them that repeated wrong. Get a number bigger than out here, that means you can go in another time. So you probably can go in more than 2. But if you change this, that will be there. It should never be a 2-digit number. So that's why you're running into the problem. You're getting a 2-digit number because when you subtract it, you got a number bigger than what you're dividing by, which means 3 can go into a 10 another time more than 2. Make sure you get your name on your paper. Make sure your decimals are in. I don't see a decimal. Make sure it's in there. Thank y'all for coming in quietly. Y'all are doing good. Thank y'all for coming in quietly. Those of y'all that were out, yes, there are a few problems on there that repeat themselves, which means you will have the same answers on all of those problems that repeat. I would make sure before I just copied my answer down for all of them to go back and double check that I got that one right. Because if I got that one wrong and it repeats and I just copied it down, I just got it wrong every time it repeats.
It's just trying to trick you to see if you realized it or not. Oh, just wait to get the other side of this one. This one I always try to make my own instead of getting them from other
You
teachers.
said what is it?
You need to make sure you look over it, since you've reduced everything.
And make sure you get your name on there. I still see a lot of papers with no name. That's what we said. That's what I just got out of my mouth. Some of these problems repeat themselves. It's going to be the same answer, but make sure before you just copy it down that it is right. Because if you get it wrong the first time, and it's on there 2 more times, you got the first one wrong and just copy it, you then got 3 wrong.
Just trying to see if you
Be
are
careful.
observant or not. Andre, you got a question, baby? Just check over. I'm not taking that from you, okay?
You get done, check to make sure you didn't make any silly multiplication errors or subtraction errors when you divided. Make sure you simplified everything. If you gave me a fraction and it can be simplified and you didn't, it's wrong. Make sure if it's supposed to have bar notation on there for repeating, you put your bar notation on there. Go back and look over it, double check. After you double check, just put it face down on your desk and sit quietly.
That's not worth it.
Yes, number 11 will be a little bit challenging, but don't give up on it.
We've already talked about that, baby. That's okay. It's just to see how observant you are, baby.
Just always look at it, it's even divided by 2, so it's a 0 and 5, and try to divide it by 5.
use your time wisely. I see some people reading a book. That's great. You also have a test in Miss Dunlap's class. Get out your study guide and study for his. Something quietly, just face down on your desk. When I see it face down, I'll come by, I'll ask you your 3 things, your name on it, have you reduced everything, you put your bar notation where you need it, your decimals in the right spot, and I'll take it from you in just a minute. Give you a chance to double check. Need to jot us a note on the back, just like we always tell you, feel free. I'm struggling with this. I need to be moved closer to the board. I need to be moved away from so-and-so. I was distracted because so-and-so was tapping. Mr. Martin is the best teacher in the world.
Hey, you didn't turn yours in, did you? Raise your hand if you're still working, please. All right, so I still have a good amount of people still working. So we need to make sure that we're quiet. Like Mr. Martin says, you may read a book, you may draw, you may lay your head down, you may study for another test in another class. But please make sure that we don't disturb anybody else that's in here working hard.
We tell you that the denominator would happen. What do you need to do? You double check everything? Sure?
No, that was during field drill.
During field drill, should I be good?
You've been extra good, Malachi.
Yes, ma'am. Can I?
We will discuss it in skill drill. We'll see how you walk in. Not what you do. Is that fair enough? Yes, ma'am. Fair enough.
Basketball, easy peasy.
Couple cheerleaders have a competition. Why? They get baskets, big city baskets. That's just the candy that's gonna go in.
In the high school?
But I would, let me,
I would go with what you think. Let's use what it said. Because that can't be reduced, we would just leave it like that. You were right. Finished? Let's check everything.
time check. Those of you still working, you got about 9 minutes.
They do look for you. Are you still losing some? Please raise your hand again if you're still working, so I know. I still have about 4 or 5, so please be quiet.
Y'all been doing good. Thank you for staying so quiet for those that are still working.
She did.
Whichever one shows. What they do is calculation.
Yeah, you did.
You got to check everything? Sure.
All right, I still have one or two that I see on the desk, so please, let them have a little quietness to finish.
Teachers, I have, one announcement. The 4A today will be meeting in the lunchroom, 7th and 8th graders, and this is for, 4H enrollment. Thank you. During flex time.
There's a few of you that are also going to be going to FFA today. Ms. Tucker sent out a list of students' names, so if your name is on that list, you're to go to FFA today during flex. Y'all will be talking about going to the Perry Fair, so you make sure that you go to that. The announcement is just said, anybody in 7th or 8th grade that would like to join 4H. So if you want to join 4H, then after you go to your flex time, let your teacher know that you're either going to FFA meeting or you want to go to the 4H meeting.
4H or FFA?
Both. To join is 4H. FFA, you have to have already joined to go to that meeting. So we got about a minute left. Do I have all the papers now? So I have 2 out, all right? While those 2 are still finishing, if everybody else just quietly get your stuff together, make sure that if you have written on my desk, that they are clean and the papers that you use to clean them are not on my floor.
Y'all did a good job staying quiet so that you can still work or whatever.
Connor, baby, why would you be up? Thank you. All right, see y'all later. Have a good afternoon.
What's her camera?